Yeah, you do. Okay, guys, let's look at our do now. We figured out while we were doing these that we factor number 3 or number 5 just yet. So cross them out. We're not going to worry about those today. Let's just worry about 1, 2, and 4. We can do 3? Oh, yes. When we change this to 11x, you can do 3. You're right. So let's look at number 1. Whenever I want to factor a quadratic expression like this, what is the first thing I want to think about or look at? Yeah, you could start by writing some parentheses down here. That's a good first step. Okay. And I'm not going to put anything in them just yet because I see that my A is not 1. So I don't know what my first term is going to be just yet. My A is 6. My B is 7. My C is 1.
Yeah, 6 but 7.
Yeah. So what I hear you guys are doing is you're checking for a factor, a greatest common factor. Is there anything that we can divide all of these by? No, unless you do 1, but that wouldn't change anything. So since we don't have a greatest common factor here, what is my answer going to look like? Yes. If we can't get our A reduced to 1, then our A must be part of our answer. So I'm going to bring down 6x and x instead of just x and x. Okay. So now I know I've got my 6x and my x. We're going to go ahead back to doing our business as usual. What we always do next is we check our factors of C. C is 1. What are the factors of 1? Just 1 and 1. That's it. Those are my only options. So if these are the factors, what am I going to do with those numbers? Yeah. I'm going to put them in my answer. 6 plus 1 times x plus 1. So we just need to double check and make sure this is correct. How do we check that this is the correct answer? We're going to do the rainbow method. So I'm going to be multiplying my outside terms and my inside terms, and I'm going to add them together and make sure that we come up with the same thing as our middle term here, 7x. So what is 6x times 1? 6x, good. And then what is 1 times x? 1x. What's 6x plus 1x? 7x. And that is the same. So this is our answer. 6x plus 1 times x plus 1. And that's it. Did everybody get that one, or did anybody get stuck on it? We got it? Did you got it? Okay, cool. Cool. Bless you.
Bless you.
Okay. Any questions, or are we ready for number 2? Let's do number 2. Okay, we got a similar kind of expression here. Right off the bat, I can tell that there is no greatest common factor. So what is my answer going to look like? I'm going to bring down my A, which is 7. So I need to have 7x in my first parentheses and x in my second one. Yeah, so now we want to find our factors of C. We want to factor 8. C is 8. So what are all my factors of 8? 1 and 8, 2 and 4, 4 and 2, 8 and 1. Okay, so which one do we want to try first? How about this? Who knows what the right answer is? Michael, tell me, what is it? 8 and 1. Let's do it and let's make sure. 7x plus 1. Or did you mean 8 first? My bad. 7x plus 8. Sorry, guys. Times x plus 1. And let's check our answer with that rainbow. So 7x times 1 is 7x. 8 times x is 8x. 7x plus 8x is 15x. And that is our middle term. So this is our answer. 7x plus 8 times x plus 1.
I just did it backwards.
Okay, so you had x plus 1 times 7x plus 8?
Yeah.
Okay, that would also be correct. Also be correct. As long as your 7 and your 8 are together in the same parentheses, then you're good.
I was factoring the wrong number.
Oh no, what were you factoring instead? What did you say? You factored 8? That's the right one to factor. Which part did you get mixed up on then? Because you got the factors of 8, right?
Yeah, I didn't.
Did you just put the wrong ones in the parentheses? Okay. Does it make sense how these are the ones we want? Good. All right. Any other questions on number 2? Okay. Let's look at number 3. So we said that the original problem, 8x squared plus 10x plus 3, we couldn't factor that one today. So if you were wanting to do a little more, I changed it to 11. So let's see if we can do the 11. Let's check. There's no greatest common factor, so what's our answer going to look like? Good. And x in parentheses. So what am I checking for next? Good. Factors of 3. What's my options? 1 and 3 or 3 and 1? Good. So which one did you guys find was correct? 8x plus 3, x plus 1. Let's double check it. So 3 times x is 3x. 8x times 1 is 8x. 8, 9, 10, 11. We get 11x.
I put it in there the other way. It means the right way.
So do you mean you did 8x plus 1 and x plus 3? Well, let's check. Let's see what would happen if we did that. 8x plus 1 times x plus 3. We'll do our rainbow method. What is 1 times x? 1x. What is 8x times 3? 8 plus 8 is 16, plus another 8 is 24. Yeah, so 1x plus 24x is 25x. So if you had this answer, it wouldn't be correct because it's not going to give us the same middle term of 11x when we do the rainbow method. So we need to make sure that we're checking our answer and getting the same middle term.
So what's the thing you said that if the symbols and the numbers are the same, nobody say which problem is that?
So if I had a problem where my answer is, let's get rid of the 8. If I had x plus 1 and x plus 3, I'm going to get the same answer whether I have it like this or if I have x plus 3 times x plus 1. If there is no number attached to either of the x's, then it doesn't matter what order it's in. Do you want to see why we can do it in different orders? Maybe that would help make you understand it better.
Not really, I ain't going.
Okay. So if you have a leading coefficient here that is not 1, we always want to do a little extra double checking and making sure that our answer is correct. So for number 3, if you switch your middle term to 11x, this is our answer. 8x plus 3 times x plus 1. That's our final factored form. Any other questions or comments about number 3? Okay, let's do number 4. Number 4 is very similar. 9x squared plus 14x plus 5. Do I have a GCF?
No.
No. So what's my answer going to look like? Good. 9x and x in parentheses. What am I checking next? Factors of 5. What are my options? Yeah, just 1 and 5 or 5 and 1. Which one's correct? 5 and 1. You're going to start to notice a pattern as well. Whenever your factors are a smaller number and a larger number, like 1 and 5 or like 1 and 3, Usually that larger number ends up going with the parentheses that has a number with x here. So I have 9x plus 5 and x plus 1, 7x plus 8 and x plus 1, 8x plus 3 and x plus 1. You're going to start to notice these patterns. Yes.
Okay, so like sometimes I get the numbers mixed up. Like for instance, I put the 9x and then like plus the 1 and then did the rest. Like another way to do that, just in case you do mess up, is just like add those two numbers that you got together.
Yeah.
First parentheses and then just
Yes.
see if it adds up.
Right. That is smart. So like I know here, if I just did 9 plus 5, I'd get 14. So these are going to go together. That's a really good trick, actually. I never even thought of it that way. Smart. Okay. This is our answer. We'll check it just to be sure. So 5 times x is 5x. 9x times 1 is 9x. 5x plus 9x is 14x. So it's correct. That's our answer. And then we couldn't do 5, so we're just going to skip it. All right, is everybody okay with these? Okay enough for now? Yes, ma'am. All right. So let's talk now about our worksheet. If you don't have this worksheet, I gave you a copy in your folders on the wall. So go ahead and if you don't have it, grab it from your folder. We'll take a minute and wait before we get started. I'll pause the recording. All right. So first of all, we had a notice that number 6 can't be factored. So you can cross that one off. You don't have to do that one today. And as we work through these, you might notice there are others sprinkled in we can't do. So if you are working on these and you get stuck on one, ask me if it can be factored and I'll check for you. So let's start at the first problem here. And I am going to label my paper first, actually, so I don't lose track of things. Today is day 8. You don't have to write this. This is for me to stay organized, but you're welcome to if you want. November 7th. I know, right? Time is flying. So crazy. You guys know you're like basically a third of the way through Algebra 2 now.
6 more weeks.
I know.
Okay.
Crazy. What'd you say? We are probably going to have our first quiz, and it will be all about what we've covered so far with factoring and like terms and all of that. Probably this Tuesday, next week on Tuesday. Now, before we ever take a quiz, I always run through what we call a practice quiz. And basically what that is it's going to look exactly like the quiz you take, just with different problems. Same kind of problems, just different numbers. And we run through that together the day before, and you can use it on the day of. You can use your notes as well. So if you take good notes, you keep your worksheets, keep all your things, you can use it on any quiz we take. Okay, let's look here. So we have a different kind of situation happening here. In number 1, I want to start the way I'm always going to tell you to start if your A is more than 1.
I agree.
Yes, let's check for a greatest common factor. I want to see what's the biggest number I can divide all of these by. 6? Yeah, let's see. I can divide 12 by 6 and 18 and 6.
You're going to have
Yeah.
So you'll bring that down to that 6 to the end of the outside of the parentheses.
Right. So whenever we take out our GCF, we want to keep track of it by putting it over to the side. And then in parentheses, we are going to do this problem here. We're going to do the division. So what is 12x squared divided by 6? Good. Cross these out. Now it's 2x squared. And then 18 divided by 6. Good. Plus 3x. And again, I will encourage you to cross these off as you go so you don't accidentally use the wrong number in your answer. And then 6 divided by 6. 1. Okay, so now we're here. Now we're here. Whenever we factor out a GCF, this 6, or the GCF you find, it will not ever go away. You need to hold on to it till the end of your answer. So this 6 stays. So now I have 2x squared plus 3x plus 1. Do I have a greatest common factor here?
No.
No. So what happens with 2?
You drop it down.
I'm going to bring it down and put a, my new a, which is 2, in my answer. So I'm going to have 6 on the outside, 2x in parentheses, times x in parentheses. And I'm going to write out what my new a, b, and c are. My new a is 2. My new b is 3. And my new c is 1. Yeah. So once we've gotten to this point, I've got my empty parentheses. What is my next step anytime I'm factoring?
Plus 1, plus 1.
How'd you know it was plus 1 though?
Because you're only times 1 by 1 equal 1.
Yes. So really what we're doing is we are finding all the factors of c, which is 1. And the only factors of 1 are 1 times 1. So we're going to put those in our answer and check it. So whenever we have a problem like this and we want to check our answer, we are only using the previous expression to check. And what I mean by that is when I do that rainbow method and I do 2x times 1 is 2x plus 1 times x is 1x. So I do 2x plus 1x is 3x. I'm going to be comparing this 3x to the middle term right before, to my new b. Not to the original one, just to the one previous. And in this case, this matches my previous expression. My new b is, my new middle term is 3x. So this is my answer. And I circle it. So you'll get 6 times the quantity 2x plus 1 times x plus 1. Yes.
So what would we do on the 6, the 2x squared? What about that?
Uh-huh.
What would we do if there was a greatest common factor?
If there was a greatest common factor, then you would need to do it again. And like for example, let's say
Doing it until you reduce down?
yes,
Okay.
you want to find the most reduced version of that original expression as possible. Like let's say we didn't recognize that 6 was the greatest common factor and we tried 3 first. Like I'll show you. 12x squared plus 18x plus 6. Let's say I was looking at this. I'll put this over here in case anyone's needing that work. Let me zoom out. So let's say I saw this and thought, okay, I'll divide everything by 3. Here's how we would correct this mistake. So this is an important point, and I'm really glad you asked this. So everybody watch for a minute. Let's say we didn't recognize that 6 was the greatest common factor. We just saw, okay, everything is divisible by 3. We'll try that first. I would get 3 on the outside, and then 12 divided by 3 is what? 4x squared. 18 divided by 3? Good. Plus 6x. 6 divided by 3? Good. Plus 2. So what you would notice in the new expression we came up with inside the parentheses There's still a greatest common factor here, isn't there? What's that one? 2. So then we would have to we'd have to keep going. We'd need to divide everything by 2. And since we're dividing everything by 2, and we already have a 3 on the outside, I would need to put that out here as well. You see that?
So it's a rabbit hole.
It's a rabbit hole. 4 divided by 2 is 2x squared. 6 divided by 2 is 3x. 2 divided by 2, 1. And even though we didn't get the greatest factor in the first step, you're still, if you keep going, 2 times 3 is 6. You will get the right answer as long as you make sure that you cannot take any more factors out. So you see that? I still got what I wanted. It just took me an extra step. That makes sense to everybody? Good. Awesome. Okay. Y'all ready to look at number 2? Okay. Let's look at number 2. I have 10x squared plus 25x plus 15. First thing I want to do is check for a greatest common factor. Is there? Somebody said 5? Okay, let's try dividing everything by 5. By 5. So what am I going to do with this 5? Yep, well, I want to put it on the outside, and then I want to divide each of my terms. 10 divided by 5, 2x squared. 25 divided by 5, 5x. 15 divided by 5, 3. So now we are here.
Bring your 5 down and bring your 2x.
Yes, yes. So remember, now we're at the factoring step. There's no more greatest common factor. But our A is not 1. So our answer can't be x and x. I don't know why I wrote that, though, because I'm just going to have to white it out. We're going to have to put A in our answer. 2x and x and 5. Just more little things to keep track of. Now I'm going to have to wait for that to dry. So while I'm waiting for that to dry, what do we do in the meantime? Factors of your new C. Your new C is 3.
1 and 3, 1.
Okay, let's check. Factors of 3. 1 and 3. 3 and 1. That's it. You cannot do anything else. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 times 1 is 3. Any other numbers are not going to work. So now we just do the guess and check game. And is that dry enough? I hope so, because I'm going to write a 2 on it. Here we go. 2x and x. So which one do we want to try first? Let's try 3 and 1, because maybe it'll follow the same pattern of last time where we're kind of putting our larger numbers together. And then we put our 1 with the x by itself. Let's just try it, see if that gives us an answer we like. So how can I check if this is correct? Rainbow. What is 2x times 1? 2x. What's 3 times x? 3x. What's 2x plus 3x? 5x. That's our middle term. So this is correct. It is fully factored at this point. Good job, guys. Do we have any questions about number 2? Any questions at all? Okay. Let's do one more together slowly. And then I'm going to give you guys some more work time on this worksheet. And I'm going to come around again and see if anybody needs individual help.
Number 3?
Number 3, yeah. So let's do one more together. And then I'm going to let you guys try some on your own. So number 3. Now, while we do this one, I want to encourage a certain type of participation here. Because whenever I was in high school, I would get really excited whenever I finally understood something in math. So I'd want to say all the answers and be like, it's this, it's this, it's this, because it's like, I get it, I know it, I love it. I want to encourage the people that feel good about this right now, that think they got this and they don't need as much practice. I want to encourage you not to answer out for this problem, because I want to really push the people that are struggling right now to participate and see if we can figure out where we're falling short together.
Okay.
And I think that sometimes that's going to help, especially the people that aren't here in class today. They'll get to watch the video in the process of where mistakes might be happening and how we can make sure those don't happen. So my people that are getting it, I love your participation. I mean that. As a teacher, it's amazing. I love it. But I want to encourage some of the people that have been quiet today to talk a little with me. Let's look at number 3. What is the first thing I need to do anytime I'm trying to factor an expression? What should I check for? Yes, thank you guys. My greatest common factor. What is a number that I can divide all of these by?
4.
4. I could do 2. I could also do 4. So since 4 is bigger, let's go with 4. So let's divide everything by 4. Okay. So what am I going to do with this 4 now, since I'm dividing everything by it? Yeah, we're going to bring it down, and it's going to be part of our answer. Okay. So I'm here. I've got 4 and a parentheses. What am I writing inside this parentheses here? Yeah, okay. Thank you, Diana. We're dividing. We're doing the answer to this problem here. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So we would have 1x squared as our first term. We don't need to write the 1. So I'm just going to write x squared. And what do we do next?
4x.
Yeah, 16 divided by 4, that gives us 4. And then we bring down our x. And 12 divided by 4? 3. Very good. Thank you, guys. Okay. Oh, we got lucky on this one. What's good about this one? A is 1. Yes. Our A is 1 now. So we actually aren't going to have to do any of that checking with the rainbow. We can just factor like normal. When we are factoring like normal, what's my answer going to look like? When A is 1, instead of having like a 2x and an x, yes, we're just going to have x and x. And what am I forgetting here? The 4. Thank you. I want to bring my 4 down into my answer. Okay. So I'm to here now. I've got 4 times parenthesis with x, parenthesis with x. How will I figure out what needs to go in the parentheses?
Plug it in from the key.
Yeah, I want to find the factors of my new c, which in this case is 3. And what are my factors of 3? Just 1 and 3, or 3 and 1. And in this case, since there's no number attached to either of my x's, it won't matter what order I put them in. I'm just going to do 1 and 3. But you could also do 3 and 1. Either one is correct. These are our answers. Okay. Either one. Any questions about that one or any previous? Okay, before I kind of send you guys off to do your own work, is there any on this worksheet that we have noticed we're going to have trouble with other than number 6?
Like, let's see. Number 10 through 15.
Okay.
All 5 of those?
Okay, 10 through 15. Let me check. Number 10.
I got 10.
You can do 10. 10 is good.
I didn't get number 11, 12, 15,
Yeah.
18.
But I can't break it down like that, can I? You can't, how is 10 good?
So what did you get for your greatest common factor on 10?
15.
15. Okay, here, let's work this one out together and double check.
1, 2, and 3 at the top.
All right. So for number 10, I'm going to move that. I don't want to give them all away. Number 10, we have 15x squared plus 30x plus 45. Let's divide everything by 15. That's our greatest common factor here. Let me make this bigger, kind of far away. Okay. So now I need to bring my 15 down and divide everything. 15 divided by 15. It's going to leave me with x squared plus 2x
Plus 3.
plus 3.
And then what?
Okay, let's see.
Because you only factor if you have a 3 or more, and then
Number
you're
10.
never going to make 2.
Yeah, A is 1.
My A is 1. Let's see. Let me double check.
There's a lot of them like this where the third
Yeah.
number is bigger than the second.
Yeah,
number. It's not possible.
I think in this worksheet, I really think they were meaning to have these switched.
There's a bunch
Because
of them
the
that are like that.
answers that I'm seeing would be correct if the middle term and the last term were switched. Gosh, guys, I really thought I was giving you a good one this time.
It's
Yeah, there's a-
decent. Can you break down number 13 though? Just for
There's
the
a-
Yeah.
Last number,
So, okay, real quick. Number 10, the way that this question is written so far, I think you're right. I don't think we're going to be able to solve it because the factors of 3 are 1 and 3 or 3 and 1. And when we add those together, we're going to get 4 both times. But
unless it's in there.
we need a 2. So it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And we can't make one of them negative because it's a positive 3. We need our factors to have the same sign. So I think this one just isn't going to work. Tell you one that will work though. Change it to 60x in the middle and then you can do it.
Okay.
And then this 2 becomes a 4.
My head hurts.
I know. I'm sorry, guys.
I'm just gonna skip over it.
Yeah, you don't have to do it. You can skip over it. Okay, you said number 13 we
Yeah,
want to look at?
It's the one that it changes, the equation changes.
Okay. I'm going to move this.
Just
Let's
make
look at
sure.
13.
Yeah, click on them.
Okay.
Either 13 or 16.
4x squared plus 20x plus 25. Let's see. There's no greatest common factor, is there?
So you
No.
drop down.
So we'll bring our, this one I think we actually are going to be able to do. Let me check the answer key and make sure that it's correct. This is one that's different. We're going to actually,
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You're gonna-
we're going to go over this one together.
Okay.
Let's go over this one together because this is a special case.
It's a few of the equations.
You
that
can do it, I believe.
You can.
Yes, you can do this one. Okay, number 13. Everybody flip to page. There's no page numbers. Go to number 13. And this is a special case we need to talk about. So, remember, first step is we're checking for a greatest common factor, and there is none. We can't divide these all by the same number. So, we are either going to need to put 4x in our answer. Let's talk about all of these first. So we've got 4x and x. And then how do we figure out what to put in these parentheses?
Find a great factor. I mean, a factor for 25.
Yeah, we want to look at the factors of 25.
125, 25 and 1, 5 times 5.
Yeah, we've got 1 and 25, 25 and 1, bless you, and 5 and 5.
None of those work.
Okay, so whenever we put these numbers in, I'll save you guys a headache. You're going to find that none of these options work. So if none of your options work, that means we need to break down our A
Those are 2 times.
into 2x and 2x instead. So let's try that. 2x and 2x. Let's try that. Now, which one of these factors do we want to try?
5.
Yeah, let's try 5 and 5. Plus 5, plus 5. Okay, yep. And then 5 times 2x is 10x. 2x times 5 is 10x. 10x plus 10x is 20x, and that's our middle term. So this is our answer. So before saying I can't factor this, we want to check, can I break down my A even more? There's layers to this. There's so many layers that we end up finding. Let me see if I've got another one like that we can run through, for example.
There is number 7, right?
Yes, number 7 is one of those. Let's look at number 7.
Okay.
Now, number 7, let's do this one slowly. Let's do it slowly. So, do I have a greatest common factor?
No.
No, I don't. So, 6 needs to probably be in my answer. 6x and x. Now, should it be 6x squared? Yeah, that's right. We want to keep it 6x and x. Yeah, now we're going to look at our factors of 10 to figure out what could go in the parentheses. We've got 1 and 10, 2 and 5, 5 and 2, 10 and 1. A lot of options here. A lot of options. So let's see what we can do. We've got, I guess we can just start trying them. Okay, you guys ready to strap in and be here for this long process for a minute?
Right.
We're going to do some trials. Okay, let's try 1 and 10 first. Plus 1 plus 10. Oh my, it's not going to work. 1x plus 60x is 61x, and we need 19x, so that's not our answer. Why don't we try 10 and 1? That's not it. 10 and 1 is going to give me 10x plus 6x. We're getting closer. That's 16x, but it's not 19x still. So it's not that. So let's try 2 and 5 and 5 and 2. I'm going to rewrite it now because now I'm out of space. Let's do 6x plus 2 and x plus 5. Let's see. 2x plus 30x. That doesn't work. What if we switched it to 5 and 2?
Let's just break down this.
5x 12x, 17, we're even closer. It's still not going to work though. So just like I hear some of y'all saying, if none of these work, then we need to go even further. We're going to break down our A into what? Yep. 2x and what? 3x. Now we're just finding factors of A to put into the parentheses.
5 and 2.
That was,
Go ahead, Star.
oh, okay, if we're going to break down, we're breaking down 6A, right?
Uh-huh.
So what is 2 and you're not,
2 times 3 equals 6.
oh, I was thinking, oh my God.
Yeah.
that's what I
So
was
remember, our original leading term here is 6x squared. So we need the first things in our parentheses to multiply to 6x squared. And 2x times 3x gives us 6x squared.
Gotcha, okay, I totally.
There you go.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
okay.
adding them.
All good.
When this step comes to
Yeah.
it now, but I ain't.
Okay.
I'm on cross-eyed at this point.
That's okay. All right. So now how are we going to decide what goes in these parentheses? Let's try 2 and 5 again. Sure. Plus 2 plus 5. 2 times 3x is 6x. 2x plus or times 5 is
5 plus 2.
10x. So that gives us 16x. That one won't be it.
Plus 5 and plus 2.
Yeah, let's try plus 5 and plus 2. So 15x and 2 times 2, 4x. And what do you know? That gives us 19x. So it's a long process sometimes, but you will get there. Our answer in this case would be 2x plus 5 times 3x plus 2. Lot of work. If you need to use a separate sheet of paper, go ahead. I try to give you a lot of space, but you know, some of these problems just take up a lot of space. And that's okay.
What do you do when you can't break down A in your equation? Then you can't go to A
Yes. If A cannot be broken down any further
in your
and
equation.
none of your options are working,
That means
then it can't be factored.
okay.
So you're ruling them all out. Yes.
Wait, so how did you get like the 10s and like, wait, we didn't have to find by that 2 or by the 5, because. Oh, wait.
Oh, so this is from, I know, I should have done this. I confused you guys, my bad. So I had 2x plus 2 here originally. So 2 times 3 was that 6x. And then I had 2x times 5 to get that 10x. I'm not being neat with my work. I'm getting a little sloppy, guys, and I apologize for that.
Look at my work.
We can absolutely. Oh, you're okay. We can absolutely. Let me ask this. Would anybody like, while if you feel good and want to start working on this worksheet, great, go ahead. Would anybody like for us to run through an example like these, not on the worksheet, slowly, step by step, more organized work? Anybody? Okay, let's do one of those. If you feel good about this, go ahead and start working. I'm going to give you a guide for this. Let me find one that has an answer like that real quick.
Question real quick.
Yes.
When you do find a greatest common factor, like the 15 up there, and you bring it down, what do we call that number so I can write it on my note?
Sure.
Bring down the.
Right here?
Yeah, bring down the G.
Yeah, GCF.
So just bring down the G.
Bring down the GCF. Yes. Perfect. Okay, let me find one. I'll leave that up here if you're still writing. I think 16 might be one.
1 plus 2.
Let me check. Okay. So if you are feeling good, go ahead and start working. But if you would like to run through one together, we're going to look at number 16, and I'm going to work this out on a separate sheet of paper, very organized and slowly. So let me rip this out and start a new page. If you think a guide that would kind of take you through each step of solving factoring an expression like this would be helpful, then this would be a good time to perk up and pay attention and take some notes. If you feel good, though, you go right ahead on the worksheet. So I'm going to title this. I'm going to make this an actual guide so that we can reference it later. Let's say Algebra 2. Factoring quadratics. This is page 2 of my notes. And day 8. Continued. So I'm going to call this factoring when A is greater than 1 and GCF is not equal to A. So before I start the guide, does anybody want further clarification on what I mean by A is greater than 1 and GCF is not equal to A?
No, but lunch is in 4 minutes, so we might be.
Lunch is in 4 minutes. Okay, good call. Thank you for telling me because I lose track of time so easily. Let's continue and fix this or create this guide when we get back from lunch. Go ahead to lunch early, guys. Go ahead to lunch. We'll finish when we get back. Yeah. All right. So on number 8 on this worksheet guide, we have 8x squared plus 18x plus 9. So what is the first thing we need to do whenever we are factoring a quadratic expression? We're checking for a GCF. I'm going to write that. We're making a guide again. Step 1. Check for GCF. If there is no GCF, which, is there a GCF here? No. Nope, there's not. If there is no GCF, we're going to break down here, and I want to give you specific instructions for what's happening when we choose the 8x and x or 4x and 2x. So if there's no GCF, then we want to look at all the factors of the leading term here, and I'm going to explain that. Let me write it first. If there is no GCF, check the factors of the leading term. And I'll tell you exactly what that means. So, in an expression, each set of a number with a variable and an exponent, this is what we call terms. 18x is a term, 8x squared is a term, 9 is one of our terms in this expression. Our leading term is just the first term. So 8x squared is our leading term. So we're going to check all the factors of 8x squared. So I'm going to just separate it. So our A is 8, but the entire leading term is the whole 8x squared. So what's happening here is we're breaking it up into what two things can I multiply together to get 8x squared. So we could have 8x and x, that's an option. 8x times x makes 8x squared. Okay. What other factors could we have? Yeah, 4x and 2x. Yeah. So all I'm doing is breaking down for you guys where those numbers at the beginning of our answer, our factored answers, where those are coming from. We're just looking for the factors of the first term, the leading term. And these are going to be our options for the beginning of the parentheses in our factored answer. So I know now that my answer is either going to look like 8x plus or minus something times x plus or minus something, or it could be 4x plus or minus something times 2x plus or minus something. So let's look at this option first. 8x and x. So this is going to bring us to our step 2. And we want to look at our factors of C, just like we always do next. So,
1 and 9, 9 and 1, 3 and 3, 3 and 3.
yeah. Check for factors of C, which is 9 in this case. So I am going to go ahead and do that step right under here. 9 could be split up into 1 and 9, 3 and 3, or 9 and 1. I have 3 different options. Which means I have 3 different possibilities for my first set of factors of A. Or not factors of A, factors of my leading term. Okay, is everyone with me so far? Does anyone need me to back up? Okay, awesome. So what am I doing with these factors of C, the factors of 9? Yeah, we're going to put them in to our parentheses and check them. Is there any of these you guys want to check?
3 and 3, 3 and 3.
Let's try 3 and 3. All right, and how do I check if it works? Yeah, this is where I like to use that rainbow method. I'm going to use green. So, $8x times 3 is 24x, I already know it's too big, plus 3x equals 27x. 27x is not the same thing as 18x. So this is not our answer. If we don't get our answer on the first try, what does that mean we need to do next? We just need to continue. We need to keep trying. Say it again. 9 and 1. Let's try it. Let's try 8x. Okay, let me cross these out too. 3 and 3 didn't work. Now we'll try 8x plus 9 and x plus 1. Let's see if that works. So we'll check again with our rainbow. 8x times 1 is 8x. 9 times x is 9x. Yeah, that's going to give us 17x, which is really close, but it's not correct. We want 18x. Yeah, so here, let's first of all talk about this. If it's not the same, we know it's not an answer, so we're going to cross both of these off. They don't work. We could try 1 and 9 if we wanted to, but let's think about it for a moment, about what would happen. In my first example, already when I did 8x times 3, I got a number that was too big. I got 24x. So if I put a 9 over there, it's just going to get even more wrong. So let's just skip the rest of them. I now know we've exhausted every possible outcome with the factors of the factors of that first term, 8x and x. So I know we're not going to use 8x or x now. We need to try the next set. So let me write another part to this step 2. Then we're going to, also for step 2, put a little star here. If none of the factors add up to the middle term, when we use the rainbow method. Yes, when we use that rainbow method, then we need to try the next set of factors of the leading term. And there's a lot of steps here, guys, so we do have to be very careful and take it one thing at a time. But you guys are doing a really good job with this. So then we need to try the next. Oh, thank you. Sorry, guys. Then we need to try the next set of factors for the leading term. And sorry guys, this is a little bit wordy. I'm not quite sure what the best way to abbreviate this step would be, but here's kind of an explanation of why we're not using 8x and x anymore. We exhausted all of our options. We tried plugging in all our factors of c with 8x and x as the beginning of our parentheses, but none of them worked. So we have to move on. We have to try something different. Okay. So since we know those aren't going to work, our next option is to try 4x and 2x and see if that will give us what we want. So I'm going to write 4x and 2x. And we're going to try our factors of c again. What numbers do you guys want to try putting in here first? 3 and 3, sure, let's do it. Plus 3, plus 3, and we'll check it with the rainbow. So I've got 4x times 3, which is what? Good, 12x. And then I have 3 times 2x, which is 6x. And 12x plus 6x is? 18x. That's what we wanted. It's a long process, but you can do it. So this 4x plus 3 and 2x plus 3, this is our fully factored form. This is our answer. We factored it completely. Okay. I'll leave this up here for you to copy down if you need it. Would anybody like to run through another one together, or do you guys want to try it on your own now? Okay. I have the answer key. Yes, you can come see it if you need to. So here's what we'll do. I've got kind of a split opinion there. Some people want to do more, some people don't. If you feel like you want to just go ahead and start doing the worksheet, do it. We're going to run through another one though. You can just tune me out. Now, if you're working together or talking, remember, I'm going to hear you on the microphone. It's okay. I don't mind you guys helping each other out. Just keep it to a really low whisper level. Yes. Yes.
Hi, Jamie.
All right. Here, Mac. I'll let you look at it. And before we start the next problem, I'm going to pause this recording real quick. Okay. So now we're going to look at 6x squared plus 11x plus 10. So first off, right off the bat, is there a greatest common factor here?
No.
No. So what does that mean I should do?
Drop the 6x squared.
Yes. Now, the other thing we need to do, guys, like I just said in this little guide here, is if there is no greatest common factor, check and see if we can factor the leading term, which is 6x squared. So my options would be what? What could I multiply together to get 6x squared? Yep, 6x and x. And then what's the other option? Yeah, 3x and 2x. So first I'm going to try filling my parentheses in here.
So we're not writing 6x squared? No, you're not writing.
No, because if I had 6x squared and I did 6x squared times x, I would get 6x to the third power. So here's our options for our answers. And now we need to figure out what to put in our parentheses here. We're going to try these factors first, the 6x and x. So, what am I going to do to figure out how to fill these in? Yeah, we want to find the factors of c. What's our c? 10. Yeah, 1 and 10, 2 and 5, 5 and 2, 10 and 1. We have 4 options here. So, our middle term is 11x. Whenever I put these factors into the parentheses, the rainbow needs to give me 11x total. So you said try 10 and 1 first. So I'm going to write 10 and 1. And I'm already looking at this. I know 10 times x is 10x. 6x times 1 is 6x. That's going to be 16x. So that's not going to work. And if I flip it, it'll make it even bigger. Because if I have a 1 and a 10, then I've got 6x times 10, which is 60. So 10 and 1 aren't going to work. Want to try 5 and 2? Let's make sure. 6x plus 5x plus 2. So 5x and 12x. Yep, too big. That won't work. If I switch them, it also won't work. I've got 6x times 5 is 30x. And 2 times x is 2x. So this is wrong. We cannot use 6x and x. So what do we do next? Yes, that means our next step is to check our other factors of 6x squared. So now we've got 3x plus something times 2x plus something. So here's all of our options. Which ones do you guys want to try first? 2 and 5? Let's try it. 2 times 2x is 4x. 3x times 5 is 15x. It's too big. Doesn't work. Let's try 3x. Which ones do you want to try? You said 1 and 10. Well, I'm looking over here. 3x times 10, if I put 10 over here, it's already going to give me 30. So it won't be 1 and 10. It won't be 10 and 1. It won't be 2 and 5. Let's try 5 and 2. And that's going to be 10x and 6x, which is also too big. That's too big. We need 11x. So we can't break it down more. So let's look at this one. We have now exhausted all the options for 6x and x. We have exhausted all the options for 3x and 2x. So because we've tried everything and it didn't work, our answer is that this cannot be factored. I'm going to say not factorable or no solution. That's your answer because we can't do it. We tried everything. Sometimes it takes a while to get to that answer, but we did. We tried everything. There's nothing else we could try. Do we want to run through another one like that?
Yeah, I don't think I'm in this like a big one.
That's all right. We'll run through some more because this is a little different.
You gotta put too much in my brain.
That's all right. The more practice we do, it'll get better. 15, you said? Yeah, let's try 15. I'm going to wait a second, give everybody a minute if they're still writing. Does anybody still need this? Okay, let's go to the next. Let's try 15. So for number 15, I have 3x squared plus 21x plus 24. And the first thing I want to ask myself is what? Is there a greatest common factor? Is there?
Yeah.
What is it? 3. I can divide everything by 3. So let's do that. I'm going to divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by 3. What do I do with that, GCF?
Break it down.
Yeah, I'm going to bring it down into the side. So I've got 3 on the outside.
A is 1
Yeah, my A is 1. That's good. X squared
plus 7
plus 7x
plus 8.
plus 8. So far, so good. Let's keep going.
So you have A is 1, B
Yeah.
is 8.
Yeah, so let's write our new A, B, and C, just so we remember. Our A is 1, our B is 7, our C is 8. And let's see if we can factor this. So, yep, our factors of C. What are the factors of 8? 1 and 8, 2 and 4, 4 and 2, 8 and 1. Okay, so my A is 1. What format is my answer going to be in? Yeah, I'm going to have, remember the factors of A. I'll show you this. Factors of A are x and x. Because x times x is x squared. So it's the same thing we did before. We just don't normally write that out. So I'm going to have 3 on the outside with an x in parentheses times an x in parentheses. And now we're going to need to try all our options. Are any of these going to work?
No,
Yeah, let's look.
because 8 is already larger than 7.
Yeah, 8's already bigger than 7. If I have x plus 1 and x plus 8, that's 1x plus 8x, that's 9x. I'm going to get the same answer with this, so that won't work.
And you're
2 plus 4 is 6. It's not going to work. So what does that mean our answer is here?
no,
Now, is it not factorable?
yeah,
We can't factor it into 2 binomials,
no.
but we did factor out a 3, didn't we? So that's our answer.
Okay.
This is as far as we could go. We couldn't factor it to binomials, but I know 3 times x squared plus 7x plus 8 is 3x squared plus 21x plus 24.
Alright.
So this is factored. This is as far as we can go.
Okay, why would you do that on the last one then? If you could do it on this?
So let's look. What was the last one? Number...
That's why I said check those on the answer sheet.
The reason we couldn't factor this one
Because it don't
was
have
because there's no greatest common factor. There's no greatest common factor. So if you can't find the factors we're used to finding with 2 parentheses, then the only, as far as we can go, is if there is a GCF. We can only take out a number. Okay?
I'm not understanding how 14 is saying that it's 14.
14. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. 14, we have 7x squared plus 35x plus 42. What's the first thing we check for? Greatest common factor. Is there a greatest common factor?
Yes,
Yeah, 7. So let's divide everything by 7. Is that what you missed?
Yes.
Ah. So as a rule of thumb, one of the best things to do is to always try dividing everything by A first. Because if you can do that, then you're going to have an easier time with the rest of it.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. All right. And I'll just go ahead and finish the workout on this for fun, I guess. Unless, no, we'll do it. All right. So our greatest common factor here was 7. So what do I do next? Yes, I'm going to divide by 7. Where do I go from here?
7 to 7 is 1, so x squared.
Okay, so I'm going to write x squared.
35 plus 7 is 5x.
Okay, plus 5x plus, yeah, 6.
Plus 6.
Good. Am I missing anything?
You gotta bring out a 7.
Yes, bring down your 7. There we go. Okay, so now we're here. What do I do now? Yeah, I want to see what all the factors of C are, or 6. And what are they?
1, 6, 2, and 3, 6, and 1, 3, and 2.
Perfect. We've got 4 options. So what's our answer going to look like?
7, and X plus something.
Uh-huh. Perfect. Because A is 1. So this is what we're filling in.
I get 2 and 3.
Yeah, that's a great idea because we need it to add up to 5x. So 2 and 3 look pretty good. Let's do it. And that's the answer, guys. That's it. That's your answer.
Okay, so I think on the ones where we gotta do all that extra stuff, like, can we eliminate them or something?
Sadly, we can't eliminate them because they are a part of Algebra
Do it
2.
over and over again, my head start hurting.
I know, girl.
Oh my God.
I know.
I'm just saying, I'm saying it for everybody that don't want to say it.
Yeah.
I know. I know. And you know, guys, this is the part about math that I know can be very frustrating for a lot of us. Whenever problems take a long time and it's like,
You can't find the factors for it.
right. When you can't find the answer, that's frustrating. In math, we're used to always having an answer. But Algebra 2 is a bit more abstract. We are eventually going to be getting into literally imaginary numbers is what they're called. Algebra 2 is not as, what's the word, concrete. There's a lot of abstract concepts that we have to talk about.
Can we do number 23?
Number 23. Let's try it.
Now y'all see that I'm skipping around the page.
Okay, number 23. Alright guys, hey, let's be mindful that we are recording, so everything you say is on YouTube. Keep it in mind. Keep it in mind. Alright, let's try 23. Okay, 23 we have 7x squared plus 28x plus 16. What's the first thing I should check for? Yeah, there's no GCF. So what do I do next?
7x squared down.
Yeah. So remember, when there's no GCF, I want to look for the factors of the leading term. 7x squared. What can I multiply together to get 7x squared?
1 times 7 is 7 times.
Yeah, I can do 7 what? X and x. So this part you can do it in your head if you want to. I'm writing it out just to explain where it's coming from. That means our answer needs to be 7x plus something and x plus something.
And we're looking for the factor of 16?
Yes, perfect. Now we want to look at all the factors of C.
1, 16, 1.
Yeah, 1 and 16, 2, I'm going to go in order here. 1, 16, 2, 8. Can't do 3, can we? 4 and 4. And then we've got 8 again and 2. Did I skip any?
16 and 1.
Yeah, 8, 2, 16, 1. Okay, so we've got 6 options here. Just kidding, 5. I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 options here. Which one do you guys want to check first?
Let's do 16 and 1.
16 and 1?
Higher one with 28.
Sure, let's do that. Plus 16 plus 1. So let's try this. 16x plus 7x. What's 16 plus 7?
No, it's too small.
Bless you. Too small, so that one won't work. We'll try something else. What else do you want to try?
We know 1 and 16 and another one.
Yeah, 1 and 16 surely won't work because my 7 is going to be multiplied by whatever number is on the outside or on the end. And 7 times 16 is very big, much bigger than 28. So let's get rid of that. Yeah, we could also, 8 and 2 right here, we could get rid of this because 7 times 8 is 56. That's going to be much bigger than 28.
We want 4 and 4.
You want to try 4 and 4?
Yes, please.
Let's do it. 4, 4. So that gives me 4x. 7 times 4 is 20. Is it 28? Yeah. Okay, so that's a little too big.
That's way too big.
So that one won't work. Should we try 8 and 2? I hope it works. Let's see. So 7x x 8 and 2 8x 7 times 2 is 14x 14x plus 8x. Is it not working either? Doesn't work, does it?
The answer key is on one with this one.
I know.
You see what it
Come on. Let me see what the answer key told us. Number 23. What did the answer key tell us?
7x plus 4 x plus 1.
It says on one.
Oh, Lord. That's not even
Yeah, that's not even something you can get.
like 4 and 1.
That just makes 4.
And also, it tells us here that the GCF is 7.
Why does it make 16?
Man, come on. That's just crazy. That's just crazy. Okay. Yes.
Jeremiah knows why the answer key's the way it is.
I was just gonna guess you used an app.
I did.
And it's just a statistics app or a ChatGPT like
So,
that.
this was supposed to be, I've been looking for good online resources because I've come into an issue. Whenever I try to come up with really good problems for us to do in class, it can take like
It takes hours.
a very long time. So, to find one good problem that I know will work, I'm going to say realistically, it's about 15 minutes at a time. And if I want to give you packets of, say, 30 problems, 30 times 15 is, it's a lot of time. And it's just not, so I've been looking and hoping to find some sort of reliable website or source of problems like this. And so I tried out something, it's like a worksheet generator, and I tried being so specific. Hang on, I'm gonna pause this. I'll show you guys what I did. Okay, so back to it, 23. We just tried all the options and none of them worked. Okay? So, if we have exhausted every single option and there is nothing we can factor out, I can't take a number out of all of them, I can't take x out of all of them, I can't do anything here, what would I say about my answer? It's not factorable. Not factorable. So number 23 is not factorable. Okay? 18? Yeah, let's look at 18 also. Let's do that. 18.
18's wild.
It's wild? Okay, let's try it. 9.
It's not as bad. Is there a solution though? No.
Let's see.
There is a solution, not a solution to it.
9x squared plus 18x plus 12. First of all, what do we check for? Greatest common factor. Is there one? Yes, there is a greatest common factor. So this one, it's not that it is not factorable. There might not be what we're looking for though. So we're going to divide everything by 3. And that's going to give us 3 on the outside with 3x squared plus 6x plus 4. Okay. And where do I go from here? Yeah, go ahead and bring this down. I know that my 3x squared turns into 3x and x, so my answer has to look like this, with my GCF still on the outside. Yes, and we're going to find the factors of C, of 4. Okay, and what are my factors of 4? 1 and 4, 2 and 2, or 4 and 1. So, let's see what happens. 18. 18. Which one do we want to try? And remember, our goal is to get it to add up to 6x when we try the rainbow. 2 and 2? Well, I already know that one won't work because 3 times 2 is 6. That won't work. For real? Wow. That's wild. It's so interesting how inaccurate of an answer they can give. I wonder what they wanted the last term to be instead. Or maybe it's the middle term that should be different. I'll have to look at that in a little bit. But anyway, what you're going to find is that none of the factors of 4 are going to work. So your answer would be the second step here, where we were able to factor out a 3, but we couldn't go any further than that.
It wants the middle term to be 24.
Ah, I get you. Wants it to be 24. See ya.
Yeah, I did through on all the ones that I didn't have answers to, and I just
Right.
the answer they had and factored it. And
Ah. Okay. Yes, Michael.
So exactly what it was.
16 might be broken. Let's look.
No, I think 16 was solvable.
6.
I thought 16 was straight.
Let's see. 16. Let's look. All right, number 16 is, my papers are flying. All right, we have 8x squared plus 24x plus 18. Okay. What's my first step? Let's check for a GCF, a greatest common factor. Is there anything that I can divide all of these numbers by? 2. Let's do 2. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. So what do I do next? Yeah, I want to bring down my GCF, bring down my 2, and put it outside of my parentheses while I divide the rest of the terms. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. Plus 24 divided by 2, 12x, plus 18 divided by 2 is 9. Good. Okay, so I took out my GCF, but my A is still greater than 1. So I want to look at what my possible first part of my factored terms are going to be. Yes, did you have your hand up? Or am I seeing things? Yes, am I seeing things? Okay, okay. All right, so we could either have what we just talked about, 4x at the beginning of one parentheses, and then x at the beginning of the other. What are my other possibilities? Yeah, 2x and 2x. Oh, good call. Don't forget our GCF. Thank you.
And then your numbers that factor into 9.
Yes, and then we're going to see all the factors of 9.
1 and 9, 3 and 3.
1 and 9, 3 and 3,
Boom. Factor.
9 and 1.
3 and 3.
So, do you guys want to mess with the 4x and the x first, or the 2x and the 2x? Down to the nitty gritty. You want to do the 2's?
Get to the point, baby.
Let's try it. Okay, so which ones do we want to try?
What are the most important?
The 3's.
3.
Let's just do that. Okay, so 2x plus 3. 2x plus 3. And 3 times 2x is 6x. 2x times 3 is 6x. 6 plus 6 is 12x. Ah, that's our answer. Yay! It's so nice when they actually work. Ah.
Did we do 12?
12, of course. Let's do
I
12.
don't have a, I don't think it does, but, I mean, well, it could be 5.
Yeah, let's look.
Could be 5.
So 12. We've got 10x squared plus 20x plus 16. Do we have a GCF? Did you say 2? We could, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said that. 2. Well, let's try taking 2 out of it. Okay. Divide by. What'd you say?
No, never mind.
Okay.
Count by 5.
Oh, you're okay. So, I'm going to bring down my 2 and divide each term. 10x squared divided by 2 is, yep, 5x squared. 20x divided by 2, 10x. 16 divided by 2, 8. Okay. Now we're at this point and there's no more greatest common factors. So I know I'm done doing that part. Now we want to check our A. Is it greater than 1? It is greater than 1. So that means my answer is going to have A in it. And what are the factors of 5x squared?
5x.
Yeah, 5x and x. And are there any others? No. So this is our only option. Hallelujah. All right. Let's bring, don't forget the 2. Bring this over here. 5x and x. And now we need to just try some things out. What number are we checking factors of now?
8.
Yep, 8. So 1 and 8, 2 and 4, 4 and 2, 8 and 1. And what term are we trying to get the rainbow to add up to? 10x right here. So let's think about it before we write numbers down. Whatever my second number is, it's going to be multiplied by 5, right? Because it's going to go here. And my outer terms get multiplied. So can we rule out any options already?
Yeah.
Which ones?
8, 4, 2.
Yeah, we already know by looking here. 5 times 8, that's bigger than 10. 5 times 4, that's bigger than 10. 5 times 2
It's 10.
is 10.
But you gotta add the 1.
Then we're going to have to do the 4, so that's not going to work. I guess we need to try this one. Or is it not going to work? Oh, let's see. Yeah, because if I did 5 times 1, I got 5. 8 times 1 is 8.
I mean, the second.
Yeah. So you got 14.
So this one doesn't work either.
So you go back to your 5x plus 8, 14.
Yeah, so what does this tell us here then?
The second one is our answer. The second factor.
Yeah, that's as far as we can factor this. We can't get it down into the binomials. We can only take a 2 out, and that's as far as we can go. As far as I'm concerned. You're scratching your head, Jeremiah. Do you have a different answer?
Not in the least bit.
Oh, man. All right. Okay, guys. any others that we might want to look at?
My brain hurts.
I know. Guys, I think we've done a really great job today. Today has been a learning, and yesterday. We've been doing all kinds of learning in here. So let's talk for a moment. I want to give you like an overview. And before we get too far in, I also want to tell you, I'm not going to give you an exit ticket today. You guys deserve a break, so I'm going to give you that. And honestly, I don't think I could handle grading another thing right now. So we are taking a break. Before we go though, let's talk for a sec. You're okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. So, I want to talk with you guys about all the things really quickly here.
Can I get a copy of that?
Sure, you're welcome. Here. I got it up. You all right? Yeah. Okay, let's just talk for a moment. Here's what we've learned so far. On the first day, we were combining like terms. We were just learning how to do like 2x plus 2x. And we've come this far. That's wild. We've made a lot of progress. We learned how to multiply terms with variables and with exponents. We've learned how to multiply binomials. We did the FOIL method and the box method. And we finally have gotten to factoring quadratic expressions, where a is equal to 1, then where a is greater than 1, with GCF, and we even looked at some that can't be factored fully. So, here's where we're going to go from here. On Tuesday, we are going to have our first quiz, and this is what it's going to be over. Now, on this quiz, the day before, on Monday, we're going to have what we call a practice quiz, and I may have explained this before, but one more time. It's going to be literally a copy of what your quiz will be, just with different problems. So it will have everything you need to know. It will be your study guide. It will be your note guide. You can use it on the quiz. Okay? I will always let you use your notes. I'll let you use your exit tickets, your homework, your worksheets. Anything you have written down is free game. Okay? We're going to talk about one more thing on Monday. We've been working with quadratic expressions. We're going to go to the next step and talk about quadratic equations, where there's an equal sign in there. We're going to figure out what x is on Monday. So, get excited. I know. All right, guys. That's all we're going to do today. I want to let y'all go. I want you guys to enjoy your weekend. Take a break. Don't think too hard about math. If you are feeling totally lost and terrified, come see me tomorrow, okay? Come see me tomorrow. I will spend as much time as we need together working on this until you feel good about it, okay? But that is all. You are free to go.